Good evening, guys, and happy Sunday. Sunday. Today's Sunday? I think it's Sunday. Happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. Anyways, guys, we had, today was, we went to go and celebrate my cousin's birthday, because she is one of the only ones that kind of has her birthday, like, in the summer. I have two other little cousins. One's in July and the other one I think is in August or maybe September, but like they normally celebrate their birthdays like together later on in the summer. But like I said, my other cousin, her birthday is like we ended up celebrating it now. But again, because she's like one of the only ones really kind of like, we actually have a ton of like March birthdays, like Matthew's birthday's in March and Jack's birthday is a month and 4 days later in April. But then there's like I'm trying to think. I think I have at least two. So one of my cousins, my aunt and uncle, and then like I said, there's just a handful of people that have their birthdays like around in the March, and my aunt always calls it the March birthdays. And so like we normally just get together and like everybody would, it was almost like Christmas. Like it was normally, like I said, several people that would have their birthday from our 20-ish or so like family, people in the family would end up having their birthday. It was, like I said, like almost the fourth of it. And so again too, like my cousin, she's one of the only ones for a long time too, until my little cousins were around, that like really only had her birthday kind of at that time. And so like we still end up getting together normally like once in the summer, kind of like to celebrate for her birthday. So, like I said, we ended up going over there today and went over to my aunt and uncle's house and ended up like I said, celebrating. But before that, me and my dad we were able to get more of like the electric done upstairs, and we got all of the electric done up to the point where we can't anymore because of the what's it called, the we needed boxes, so like what you put like your outlet covers over, like those boxes that are there, we had to get those for we have to get those, and there's a couple ones that we're like moving, but we don't have enough to like finish what we need. So like there's ones, like I said, where we're moving them, so like we don't need them in that spot, so, or we're just taking the outlet out of that area altogether. So I think we need 14, but we have 4 that will be moving to, again, other places, so we still need 10. And so we were like, well, it's not really, we're not going to end up finishing pretty much the electric upstairs without running to Menards and getting that. Then we also have to get the insulation, and so originally we were going to go to Menards today so that we could finish up with some of those other things, but we didn't count yet and figure out for sure where everything was going, and like running the cables as well, we didn't end up doing that either. Or so we didn't know for sure exactly where all the outlets were going and how many we were going to need and like that kind of stuff. So we finished running all of the electric. We just kind of have to like power everything up live, and then also to, like I said, do the outlets and like the boxes basically, because we have other ones too. There are the switch boxes as well that we have to do. We have to get the switches and the outlets for the like for what we're going to put on, but we actually can't do that until after the drywall goes up. But we have to, again, we'll have to get that at some point. It's just we're not getting them right now because we have to mount those boxes first. So, but guys, honestly, today I'm so tired, like just being up doing all the stuff that we did yesterday. Like today I am just like, I was exhausted. Like I was able to help my dad today again too, and he was like, oh, I need these little things or whatever, like that kind of stuff, and holding the things that he had to do. But like the electric isn't quite as difficult. Like I ran some of the like wire through like the like we had to do the holes through the what's it called, the studs, but so I like ran the wire kind of through that and everything, and so there wasn't a whole ton I could do other than kind of just like when my dad was like, I need this, I need that, whatever, I was able to go and kind of run and grab it for him and like that kind of stuff. But other than that, I really didn't end up like doing too much, and for the most part too, I would just like kind of sit there, and then again too, if he was like, oh, like I need this, I was just like, okay, here, whatever. But like I kept sitting on the little like step ladder that we had, because I was just like, my legs are like killing me today. So, and they feel better now though than like when I first woke up, but like they were just, I was so sore and so tired like from yesterday, and just like I said too, like I didn't sit down until like nighttime pretty much. I was, like I said, on my feet practically all day yesterday, between going to the grocery stores and going to, you know, and again, cleaning out the fridge, cleaning out the cabinets, and then going upstairs and doing all the construction work upstairs. Like, I was on my feet all day yesterday. And so my feet and my legs were hurting today, and I was like, honestly, if I can just kind of get by with not having to do a whole ton, like, again, if by yesterday, like, we weren't, again, too, like, the electric isn't, I don't know, quite, like I said, as difficult, I guess, as doing some of the construction stuff. Like, it still is, but it's just, you know, again, for the most part, a little bit easier and not quite as, like, taxing, I guess, like, on the things that we have to do. You know, like, we're not lifting beams and holding stuff up and, you know, all that kind of thing. It's like, oh, we have to run this little cable or whatever. And again, too, sometimes it's like, you got to put in some elbow grease to, you know, again, like, we had to drill the holes through the studs so that we could get the wire through. Like, my dad did that, but, you know, and that, again, too, is a little bit of work, but it's nothing, like I said, you know, having to measure the stuff and lift the things up and hold things in place so that you can, you know, like, and you know, again, doing all the floor that I was doing and stuff like that, like, that was a lot of work. And again, too, you know, just the construction aspect of it, I feel like was kind of a lot of more physically demanding, I guess, and like more taxing than kind of doing the electric has been, like I said, a little bit easier. And it depends too on when we get to like having to pull up some of the electric, because some of it's run under the floor, so that might be a little bit of a pain, but like, I don't see that being quite as difficult as having to build up the walls and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's more like the drilling stuff sometimes can, again, to take a toll on your arms and everything, but that, you know, we're not doing a whole ton of that when we're working with the electric stuff, so it's not quite as bad. And it's a little bit more like, you know, we're just kind of like standing in one place just doing it, and not with, again, the construction is like, okay, it was difficult because like we build up the wall and then we'd be like, okay, now we got to move all this stuff because all this stuff's in the way of, like, you know, again, doing like the, you know, again, another section of the wall or, you know, something like that. So we have to move the sawhorses and the tools and like all that kind of stuff. So it's a constant kind of like moving around thing as well. And just, you know, like, you put one beam up and then you got to move it further down, put another beam, you know, that kind of stuff, and in the studs, I guess. But like, you know, again, all of that just, it took a little, you know, took more, like I said, kind of time and energy to do that. Then we're just kind of, you know, for the most part, like I said, kind of standing in one place, and we're just, you know, my dad's kind of doing this stuff with the wires and whatever. But when we have to run this stuff, it's more difficult. For the most part, we got that done like today, and so that was, you know, for the most part, probably the more difficult of what we had to do anyway. So that was nice. But we just kind of came home and relaxed a little bit. We're gonna try and get a lot more stuff done tomorrow as well. But we also need to get ready for the 4th of July, which we're going to, like I told you guys, you know, have family over on the 4th as well. But we still need to do a little bit of house cleaning as well tomorrow, along with like, you know, I'm not really sure what food we can make ahead of time, only because we don't really don't have any room in the refrigerator right now for anything that, like, you know, I can't really pre-make the pasta salad super early. Like, I mean, I probably need to possibly make it tomorrow. Like, the thing is, for Father's Day, I think I made it earlier in the morning and then left it in the fridge, and it was like, I think it was actually tasted perfect at like that time. But there's, you know, like, again, I can't really make it the night before because I don't have room in the fridge for it. So you know, like, we might be able to like take the corn out, which is taking up a big chunk of space in the fridge, but like, we might be able to take the corn out like on 4th of July and just not have it in the fridge, you know, like, because we'd be cooking it later anyway. So like, when I then make the pasta salad, I can put it in place of the corn, since again too, we'd be cooking it later anyway. It really doesn't have to stay refrigerated for all that long. You know, kind of like, you know, it's not gonna be sitting out for like days or whatever. It's just, you know, we'll have it out for a little while before we end up cooking it, and that way I can have room in the fridge to put the stuff in there that I need to. So I know there's that, and I think maybe my mom wanted to do Jello cups, like with like red, white, and blue Jello, because we have both kinds, and then do it with like whipped topping, you know, so it's like red, white, and blue kind of thing. So like I said, I think she wants to do that, but there's you know, we don't have room for that in the fridge really either. So there's some things that we're a little limited by being able to make like super ahead of time as well, just because of the you know, like I said, the timing. And like on the 4th of July too, we're gonna do ribs, and we're gonna do them in the slow cooker, and so like that can also make its way out of the fridge and be cooked. Like, you know, I can put it in the slow cooker in the morning. So like I said, there's a handful of things like that that are like in the fridge right now that don't have to stay in there necessarily by, you know, and on the 4th of July, but there's stuff that has to stay in there until the 4th of July. So that's why, again, there's not too much of that we can do tomorrow. It's just kind of, again, a little bit more like the housework and that kind of stuff. But it's also really tough because, like, again too, we're doing projects at the same time, so it's just like, again, like the, you know, just I feel like general disorder from the house. Like, you know, we don't have the upstairs to, like, we have a lot of clutter right now in the house and stuff like that. I feel like just because of all of the, you know, the space that we've lost upstairs by not having the upstairs to be able to put things in right now. So there's a lot of extra stuff in like rooms and stuff like that, like I said, where we normally wouldn't have it, but we just had to move it out right now because we don't have space in the, you know, in the attic, or, you know, I guess in the upstairs, but really also in the attic too. We lost a lot of space with that as well because we had to shove a lot of stuff in there that was previously in the room. So like I said, there's just a lot of stuff going on. So it's just, you know, it's it makes cleaning too a little bit more difficult. But anyways, like I said, I'm gonna take a shower and get to bed. Well, actually I showered already because it wasn't actually very warm out today. It was raining for the most part, but it was actually kind of cool, but I just kind of felt gross after being upstairs and like the sawdust and, you know, that kind of stuff, that I was like, I think I'm just gonna take a shower before we go to the party. So I already actually showered like almost this morning, and then ended up, you know, now I just kind of need to wash off my face, brush my teeth, and then I'm going to bed. So I'll see you guys in tomorrow's vlog, though. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see you all your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.